from the Committee for Research and Exploration, and I know Ed also got his start with the National Geographic Society applying for funding during his PhD project on birds of paradise.
Yeah, so my start was with the Society was pretty much the same story that Tim said, except I didn't have the great photography skills that led to the great things that Tim has done since. But I was a graduate student, just like many others, trying to work in New Guinea. I was studying birds of paradise back then, and one of the challenges I faced was how to support this work on my own as a graduate student. I was at a university that was doing the best they could, but they weren't funding my field work. And so I kind of had the same moment that Tim did. I'm going to reach out widely and try to find organizations that can support this work. And I wrote a grant. It was successful, and I was able to fund a little over a year's worth of work through the CRE on just basic research on birds of paradise evolution and biology and behavior. And it was through that direct link, through having got that grant, that I was able to meet Tim. And the whole process began that led to what you're going to hear about tonight, which is this multi-year effort of working together on birds of paradise projects.
Yeah, so jumping forward to when we made that connection, in the meantime, I'd been working on my photography skills since I was a graduate student, and went to the Geographic, showed my pictures. And the first reaction I got when I contacted them was that, well, we have lots of researchers who think they can take pictures, but you're welcome to come and show yours, if you want. But they actually gave me an interview with with Mary Smith, one of the very well-known photo editors, and she kind of looked at my pictures and said, well, you got some potential, but you're never going to get an assignment yet. But if you're going back to Borneo, I'll give you a film. And so she gave me as much film as I wanted. I got another grant. I went back to Borneo for a year and worked a lot on my photography. Eventually, was able to publish a story in the magazine about my PhD project on strangler fig trees and the rainforest canopy. And then I started becoming a regular contributor to the magazine. Had done a number of stories, and then one of my dream stories was birds of paradise. So I kept pitching various ideas, and finally I got the birds of paradise approved. And when I went to find out who's doing research in the field, I found out that Ed had just gotten this grant from the Society recently to do work on birds of paradise. So we teamed up, and so after doing that first article, as we're going to share for you in the longer presentation tonight, we decided to expand on a single article and turn it into a book and a bigger project, which we're now seeing the results of, and that was all made possible by a series of grants, 3 grants that actually we received from the Geographic Expedition Council. So, in my ongoing work going forward, I've already moved on to some other projects. Been doing some expeditions in the remote Cape York Peninsula of Australia with additional Expedition Council funding, and so in between us, we've probably had about 10 grants from the Society, over the years now that have been able to make it possible for this kind of project to come to fruition.